Hello, good morning, or good afternoon. My name is Debbie Jacobs, and I thought I would do another video. Basically, I'm making positive change. And, I know in myself, before I went through the healing process, I did a lot to overcome my fears. I did skydiving, I did zip cording. I did all of these kind of like adrenaline rush type things, parasailing, which wasn't scary at all. But things that were out of my comfort zone and things that induced fear. And I was always fine doing those kinds of things, but it never really helped with my fear. Like it kind of just was like this, temporary experience that was, not in my reality. You know what I mean? Like, I thought that would help me to develop, just like a comfort level with fear, but that's not the kind of fear that helped me, deal with the fear of speaking to other people, deal with the fear of asserting myself, deal with the fear not uh, of not having people like me, like all these other fears that I had that were perpetuated by ineffective thinking and ineffective coping skills. And what I needed to do, which I didn't know at the time, was to actually face the fear in those moments rather than think that I needed to overcome my fear by doing things that were scary, but in a sense were safe. And also were totally unrelated to what the problem was. The problem was fear, but it was in a different context. So it didn't help me, where I needed it to help me. So that's an example of kind of being on the sidelines. Like, yeah, I want to take on my fear, but I'm not doing it by being in the fear that's being created for me. I'm on the sidelines, almost taking the easy way out, and I'm trying to overcome fear, when that kind of fear is not my problem, and basically, what I learned is that we need to be in the fear, in the anger, in the invalidation, in the anxiety, in the situation, to overcome it. Not, on the sidelines saying, "Oh, I'm good enough. I can do it. I'm a brave girl. I'm smart," and give myself positive affirmations or psych myself up. I'm so brave, you know, because what ends up happening is all that goes out the window in the fire, in the face of the challenge. So you have to be in the challenge to create a effective way of handling it so it's not a challenge anymore, so it's defeated, you know. And let me tell you something, I actually think that anxiety is very difficult to overcome, because of our conditioning, because of our ego, because of other factors unrelated to anxiety. But when it comes to anxiety, if somebody wanted to, take on their anxiety, and said, "Okay, Deb, help me with my anxiety," I obviously I could do it because I accomplished it myself. But I don't have anybody coming and asking me, to help them with overcome their anxiety. And that has to do with the sidelines, not with the problem. Because if you were dealing with the problem, you would go to someone that can help you overcome it. And basically, the way that I recommend to overcome anxiety is to be in your anxiety, which is created and perpetuated by your thinking, and to train yourself to think differently in that moment. And let me tell you something, this is a process, it doesn't happen overnight, and it's not accomplished on the first try. You have to be committed and determined to overcome your anxiety and figure out another way to handle the situation, So you're not handling it with anxiety. And it's the same thing for anger. You have to be in your anger and then say, okay, what do I need to do to handle this situation more effectively, not with my anger? Here I am in my anger. What do I have to do to handle this, differently? So instead of me getting angry, I want to get more communicative. I want to express to you what specifically is the problem. You know, what's the problem that I'm having, and how can we resolve it? And also, sometimes just by learning new coping skills can help, undo the negative ones. If I learn boundaries and I say, oh, you know what, this person didn't invite me to a party, that's okay. I'm going to respect her boundaries. And now I didn't get angry at her and I'm not hurt. I didn't take it personal. That's another, change to make, not taking things personal. So we need a whole slew of new behaviors to replace our negative ones. Anger and fear is a negative one. Anxiety is a negative one. And basically, you need to be in your anxiety, in your fear, in your anger, so that you could say, okay, how can I handle the situation differently? This anger is not working for me. What do I have to do to make positive change? And what do I have to do to change myself and my actions? Because clearly, if you're getting angry, you need to change your actions. And if you're getting anxious and having anxiety, you need to change your actions. You need to change your behaviors. So basically, um, there's a lot of opportunity to make positive change because there's a lot of negativity in our behaviors. And another thing is like getting embarrassed, Getting embarrassed, guess what? Does it stem from our actions or does it stem from our thoughts? Just because I fall on my ass in front of everyone doesn't mean I have to get embarrassed. Just because I make a mistake, doesn't mean I have to get embarrassed and make things worse and make myself feel worse. Like being embarrassed, you be in the embarrassment and say, you know what, I don't want to be embarrassed because I don't like it. It makes me feel bad about myself. I feel stupid, and then I beat myself up over being human. I'm human. So instead of, being embarrassed, say, you know what, I'm not going to get embarrassed over this because I didn't do anything wrong. I fell, and that's okay. And I don't care what other people think about it. I care about making myself happy, and feeling good about myself. And when I get embarrassed, I feel bad about myself, so I don't want to feel embarrassed anymore. And I'm going to get up off the floor, because I can't do anything else about it, and move forward with my life without beating myself up for making a mistake, for being human. It's all how we think about it, and what behaviors we use to rationalize our experience. And when we're using negative thoughts and negative ineffective coping skills or behaviors, that's going to make us feel worse. When we use positive thoughts and positive effective behaviors, it's going to make us feel better. And you know what, let me tell you something. I lived with depression, anxiety, and bipolar most of my adult life. All I want to do is feel good about myself. All I want to do is create positive outcomes for myself and take really good care of myself. I don't need problems. I don't want problems, and I don't want to create them for myself. Me getting embarrassed is creating a problem for myself. That's how I look at it. I don't want to get embarrassed. I mean, yeah, I do. Like, it's like, well, when something happens, it's like, okay, but I'm not going to add to it. I'm not going to compound the experience with negativity. I'm going to say, okay, get up. Yeah, it's a little embarrassing, but I'm not embarrassed because I'm shutting down the embarrassment that's filling my thoughts. You know, I'm shutting down the behavior so I don't go into embarrassment. And this is all you can accomplish when you're in the fire, when you're in the moment. And you cannot say, you know what, I'm not going to get embarrassed anymore. I don't need that negativity. You cannot prepare yourself when you're out, of the fire, when you're on the sidelines. Because then when you're in the fire, you haven't developed the coping skill. You haven't changed the coping skill, so embarrassment is going to come back. You have to be in the fire, in the embarrassment to change it, because everything is going to go out the window, like you see all these people, oh, but be positive, be positive, and then their kid does something wrong, and they get angry, and they punish them, and they say mean things to their kid. Why is that? Because they haven't changed the coping skill in the fire. And that's where they need to be positive. You need to, when your kid gets mad at you, when your kid makes a mistake, be understanding, be forgiving, be compassionate, not be angry, and punitive and insulting. But if you don't change the behavior, it's not going to change itself. So, and that's what we need to accomplish to make positive change. And ego gets in the way of positive change, and we know we need to get rid of ego. That's it. So, all right, my name is Debbie Jacobs. Thank you for joining, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye bye.